Hey there everyone, this is Mrlubufu, and I'm here with what's going to be my second, my entry into SYTYCC round 2, due to the nature of my recording software decided, meh, you know what, you have a fun draft, I'm going to throw away all of your matches. Hopefully I'm able to submit, it saved the draft portion at least, which is really good. So the drafting portion, I will say it was a pretty good draft. It was my first ever Ravnica draft, and I think I did a pretty good draft. Well, I know I had a pretty bad drafting time, but my deck was super interactive, so I had so many combos and fun interactions. I actually won the draft. That's how you can see, like, I've got, that wasn't in the original one, is because I went and drafted a little bit more. Like, that wasn't there either. So I went and drafted, actually, that might have been there. I went and drafted a couple more times, but I didn't record it because I wanted to have fun. And then I realized my recording software is gone, and now I'm out of tickets and everything. So, I'm going to do a fun little entry then for SYTYCC, and this is going to be Momir. For those of you that don't know what Momir is, it's a Vanguard format. So you have this avatar here that says you start out with an extra 4 life. You can use this at any time it's a sorcery. It's X, discard a card. Put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of a creature card with converted mana cost X chosen at random. Activate this ability at any time. You could cast a sorcery and once per turn. So, I'm going to go ahead and do, this is going to be like a mini deck tech before I start the matches, because it's not terribly hard to explain. You play all lands. You don't play creatures in this format. And so if you notice, there are more mountains and more swamps. The reason for this is mountains are by far the most powerful land in this format because there's fire-breathing things. There's a lot of creature abilities are triggered with red. So you want to have as much, or you want to have a reasonable amount of red. Next comes black. There's a couple 9-drops that require quad black to keep it alive. And then you play forests, islands, and plains, almost about the same. But you generally, if you have islands, you don't play them till the very end because island walk is a thing. It's actually the most common it's the most common basic land walk. So you're a planeswalker. So you generally hold off on that. If someone gets a mountain walk, or swamp walk, or forest walker, I mean, you deal with that, or you don't, and you die. But this is a fun little format. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pause and start up. I'm gonna have a match of 3 coming up. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll come back when the match starts. So no matter the format, whether it be Momir or draft or anything, you always type hello, good luck, and all that stuffs. There you go. In Momir, what you want to do is you want to play first. You never, ever, ever mulligan in Momir. Because you're just going to get all lands, right? So, defeats the purpose. So, when you're playing Momir, if you are on the play, you start making 2 drops. If you're on the draw... Did I pick I was on the play? Yeah. If you're on the play... Sorry, yeah. If you're on the play, you start making 3 drops. If you're on the draw, you start making 2 drops. The reason for this is because you want to be able to cast 8. Converted mana cost 8 offers the most utility. You got 2/2 vigilance for 2. That's pretty good. So you want to be able to hit your 8. Now here I'm going to tap. Notice how I played my mountains first, because mountains, as I mentioned, are the most important. I'm going to discard an island. And here we have, wow. So in this format, anything that taps for colorless or taps for mana is huge. Because think of it like a giant ramp spell, right? 2/2 first strike. So he gets attacked for 2, and then we get to play a 6-drop, which is just nutty. And this is why I only discard islands if I have 2. Because you're rarely going to need more than 1. So you're going to go play that, then 1, 2, 3, and we're going to use Momir on all of it. Normally you tap Momir first. So we're going to pay 6, discard a plains, and we get a 6-drop. Boom! When it dies, enters the battlefield or dies, put 2 1/1s. So, now I need to contemplate whether or not it's worth keeping it around. I don't think it is, to be honest. If he attacks with stuff, it holds him off this turn. 3 damage target attacker or blocker. A 3/3 is not that big in this form. I'd rather get 7. So if he attacks with stuff, we get to chump block. Yep. I am not gonna pay. Cancel. Give me 2 more 1/1s. Now I'm going to pay a swamp. Milmir. Give me 3 colorless. 1, 2, 3. Now the thing about 7 is you have to be super careful, because there's this fun little creature called Phage the Untouchable. Oh, I was so scared. Oh my goodness gracious, I was so scared. Any triggered ability at 7 always scares me, because Phage the Untouchable, if you get it in this format, you didn't play it from your hand, so what does it do? You lose the game instantly. That's just how it is. So, it's a 3/3 flyer. Next turn we cast 8 and start having fun playing 8 drops almost every turn. 10 and 11 is also pretty good. So there's that. The one thing about 8 drops that you have to be super careful about is that there's one called Denizen of the Deep. It's an 11/11 that when you play it bounces all creatures, and since all of these are creature tokens, it's pretty rough. So if we attack with Fault Grinder, he can block with Arbalest Elite and Steadfast Guard, or with Goblin Brawler. So we trade our 4/4 for one of his 2/2s, or for his 2/3, which I'm okay with. So let's make him trade. We'll trade it for his Arbalest Elite, because if he draws a Plains ever, this thing just, anything that involves combat math in this format where all you're playing is creatures is pretty good. Otherwise we deal him 4 damage, so he's gonna block there and there. Yep. So I want the Arbalest Elite to die first. Yeah, I would trade my 4/4 for that any day. Yep. And now I'm going to play another. I'm actually going to play my Forced. Use Momir. Giving my 3 mana. And now we hit the magical 8 drop, which is so powerful. Darn it! So when he comes to 8, I like playing it pre-combat most of the time because of Denizen. But that time, I mean, we got Brimstone Dragon, I have 6/6 Flying Haste, right? Would have been so much better. +2/+2 as long as you... Oh. Anything with horsemanship is good. And the one card I always seem to lose to is Mrlubufu, Master of Arms. Which just happens to be coincidentally a lot like me. Mrlubufu. Okay. I'm going to, again, attack first. Denizen of the Deep wrecks house. So let's have him get rid of his Chronozoa. Or take 6. So at the rate we're going, we could be able to cast 10s. Or skip at one point so we can cast 11. 11's really good. You only get powerful stuff with 11. And the magical number you want to be able to get is 15. Because 15 gets you Emrakul. Okay, so that's 2, 4, 8. Good. 9s, all that gets you with 9 is you get giant creatures on the ground, and most of them are not that good. So you generally don't make 9s. You make 8s. There you go. I mean, it's not the best 8. It's a 4/7 Convoke Vigilance. Now remember, all of these are tokens, so anything that involves bouncing it or anything like that is not that good. Let's see, what does he get? A 4/4. Amplify again. All you're playing is lands. So, he gets a 4/4. He gets attacked for 5 with Chronozo and Lube. Nope. Okay. So I think I'm going to attack again. Again, I'm super scared of Denizen. Like, that puts you so far behind. So I'm going to gain what value I can. Okay, so he takes 10, goes to 8. I will play my land. And do I make a 10? I think I want to make a 10. There's fewer bad 10s than there are other things. So let's make a 10. 8s are typically better, but 8 also has Denizen. Here we get a 6/6 unblockable, right? So that's pretty quick. And so now he has to sacrifice his 3/3. But, oh, right, he gets 2 3/3s. Right, yes. So that's what he wanted to do. So he could block our Brimstone guy if he wants. He's going to make a 7. Nom 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 worm. Okay. So, he's coming back into it. He's coming back into it. If it wasn't for our unblockable guy, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to begin combat. Attack with 6/6 unblockable and a 6/6 flyer. He can double block my flyer if he wants, which is probably the play. Yep. So he takes 6, and I am just going to play my land. The reason for that is next turn we can just make an 11. So 11 would get us Blightsteel Colossus, which would be irrelevant of life total. It would just be giant. If he attacks with Worm, we just have to take 7, or we can chump block with a Goblin token, which is I think what I'm going to do. Yeah, he has to make a 7-drop, and there's not many 7s that can take care of a 6/6. Yep, a 6/6 unblockable is pretty good. So now we put Goblin in front of Slagworm. He attacks with everything. Gain life equal to that creature's toughness. So he would gain 1 life, and then we counterattack for 6 and win. Yep. If he alpha strikes, we get to block all of his other stuff as well. Yep, okay. On to game 2.